once again, the Dodgers have once again won the World Series. Did we not see that coming? But not as much as many people thought that they were going to just throw out a certain type of fight of what the Toronto Blue Jays were going to do. In many ways, shape, or form, it's kind of what we expected. But we got one of the best World Series probably in many, many years. One of the best ones, and we can't really complain. Game 7 is the 2 best words in all of sports. The Stanley Cup gets it, NBA gets it, NFL does not get it. But baseball, Game 7s, never say no to it, even if you're not a baseball fan. But in a way of speaking, we talk about the Dodgers and their $450, $500 million payroll, and well, apparently officially it was around 397, but who's counting? The Dodgers, and I've said it numerous times, and this is actually strategic and actually an actual fact, they are one of the most well-run organizations in probably of all sports, and if not North America and all over the world. They have smart people running their organizations, and people say, well, they could spend and get anybody they want. Well, they also develop, and that's when you develop, then you get that chemistry going, and that is exactly what happens when you are the Dodgers. You can get whoever you want, you can develop whoever you want. If you want something and you have developed something, you can trade that development or a package to get that person. That is business, and that's something the Yankees did many years when they were on their heater of their dynasty over a decade ago. But let's just be in essence of fairness that Toronto was probably going to be the team that gave them a fight, especially when they took a 3-2 lead, winning 2 at Los Angeles. And amazingly enough, we thought it was we thought it was going to be one of those series where when Toronto won Game 1 decisively, and I mean seriously decisively, we were like, okay, this is going to get good. And then the Dodgers came back with Yamamoto and just tore them apart like 3-1 or something, whatever it was in Game 2. Yamamoto was the MVP for a reason. And he also came in Game 6 and specifically told everybody, I can pitch after playing Game 6. And he did. And he was decisive, and he was pitching out of his mind. And he was the MVP for a reason. Toronto had players on base, and they could not make anything happen. But just think how crazy Game 7 was. And apologies if I'm segueing on and off in here, because we look and saw Bichette had a 3-run homer, then Teoscar Hernandez gets on, Edmonds sacrifice fly in a 6, Yanez doubled right, and for the Blue Jays made it 4-2. But then after that, the Toronto had them dead to rights with 1 out in the 9th. And what I bring up many times, the Dodgers have all these resources. They were, after the Milwaukee series, Los Angeles was pretty much overwhelmingly favored to win this just because of their pitching alone. When you have Ohtani, Yamamoto, Glasnow, and then Blake Snell, who had one heck of a game earlier in the playoff, you don't know who you're getting, and you don't know who's going to be torching you. And Blake Snell went in Game 1 and got literally hammered. But then when Yamamoto was pitching, he was a threat. Amazingly enough, Ohtani was not necessarily a major piece in this World Series. He made a couple big plays, had one big game, but he was starting Game 7. And when they took him out, he was not a figure in the game. But the thing about the Dodgers, we talk about the big payroll, but it's not just the pitching. They have many people. The Dodgers are not reliant on just the pitching. The bullpen was on and off sus, but their bats could come from anybody. It could come from the bench. It could come from your 7, 8, 9 lineup. Somebody is going to mess you up. And go figure, you're waiting for a Mookie Betts, a Freddie Freeman shot like he's done numerous times. Like the 18-inning game that they did in Game 3, it was Freddie Freeman again. But go figure what happened. And I look at the stats. It was Max Muncy. It was Rojas. and Will Smith all homered in the 8th, 9th, and 11th innings that were the sealing dagger. Plus the fact that Yamamoto also pitched in the 11th with 2 men on, and a couple calls were so close, like a sliding force out at home. There was the ball stuck in the center field wall, in the bottom of the center field wall, and then the collision for the catch at center field as well. All those things come into fruition that Toronto could have just turned this thing around, and Toronto would be holding the commissioner's trophy. You don't want to sit there and say, well, those things are the reason. Well, they all went in the Dodgers' favor. Well, unfortunately, that ball stuck in the wall is a rule, and they just went by the rule, and somebody that played center field, and I think it actually was Rojas, nobody ever really knew him very well, knew the rule. So I don't know what to tell you on that. They dissected the whole slide of how close. Come on, you have to forgive me because I don't know the guy's name, but he was a former Pirate. But he was a former Pirate, Kinder Falefa. People saying that he should have ran and should never have hesitated, and he was slid, and he would have actually gotten. He would have called in safe, and the game would have been over. All these things just go into the Dodgers' favor. Things happen, but it's baseball. Things happen. You go by the rules. And Yamamoto was an absolute beast. And the double play ball was a pitch thrown into a broken bat. And the Dodgers just are so well coached and well run. You can get on Dave Roberts for saying what he said after they swept Milwaukee. He goes, everybody says the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Well, let's win 4 more games and we'll really ruin baseball. And it took them 7 to do it because Toronto was just that well. I mean, even with Guerrero and Bichette and Schneider, and even George Springer made a couple big hits and a couple big plays. Varsho, Clement, Jimenez. Toronto's got a team. They're ready to compete, and it wouldn't have mattered if it was Seattle. It wouldn't have mattered if it was, maybe if Detroit would have gotten a little bit more, somebody may have given the Dodgers a chance. But you're now going to see a continuing dynasty. The Dodgers have won back-to-back. This is the first time it's happened since the Yankees did it. And a three-peat's not that far away because the Dodgers are only going to get better. If you can get on the free agent market or whatever, there's going to be a work stoppage probably in 2027. There's enough going on with Major League Baseball. But the Dodgers are not going anywhere. They have the biggest TV deal. You thought the Yankees had the biggest one. They did at one point. Now the Dodgers have it. But your top big markets are never going to go away. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies. I look at the payrolls that were done. It's the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, Phillies, even the Blue Jays, the Rangers, the Braves, the Cubs, even the Padres. But the Padres are small market, but they're paying 3 people over 9 figures. You need to come to an understanding. Dodgers just have smart people that run the organization, and they always have, always will. And Clayton Kershaw's going to retire with another ring. Mookie Betts has now 4 rings. Freddie Freeman's got another one, and he wanted to go back to Atlanta, but that was a mess up. Now he's with the Dodgers. Now he's got 2 more rings. He's not leaving. And with all these people coming around, with free agents all over the place, some people will say, you don't want to play in California because of the taxes. People are going to go to the Dodgers to win a World Series. It's the same deal as people would play for Tom Brady and the Patriots because you want to win a ring. People would play for, Steph Curry and the Warriors because they want to win a ring. The Dodgers are not going anywhere. This is the way it's going to be. The small market teams like the Pirates, the Marlins, the White Sox, they're not going to do anything about it. They're only going to get worse. And the Dodgers are going to be your reigning, defending, undisputed Major League Baseball World Series champions. They're the best ran team in the entire world of sports as of this moment. And I don't know if there's going to be a team that is going to stop this team anytime soon.